So I had the honor of playing with Pro as a teammate of Pro's high school. Since his passing, it was quite a coincidence. He passed away the same day that my daughter turned 2. And all that I could think that night is what it must be like to see the world through the eyes of a young child born in Bangladesh during the strife of and the hope of independence, losing his father at a young age, moving to America, finishing college at 19. It was such an improbable life. For me, born and raised in the stability of middle America, it may not be possible to see the world as he saw it. But Pro and his incredible partner, Becky, certainly opened my eyes to a world of possibility that I didn't necessarily know existed. By training, I was trained to play the odds, as a kind of statistician, mathematics. By all odds, a man like Pro should not have existed. He, I mean, everyone here knows him, knows his stories. You know him as a man who was as comfortable in the boardroom as he was in the ultimate field, as he was at the parties after the ultimate game. And what struck me was he was often in a room where he was the only one who looked different. And yet, somehow, he made everyone else feel at ease and like they fit in. I especially remember one time when we were up in Humboldt, and it was a little bit before Halloween, and he was dressed in a costume. He and Becky had twin costumes that I'm sure Becky would be happy to tell you about. But it was about 3 in the morning, I think, that Pro came back by himself to the hotel where we were staying, and there was a middle-aged woman there who really, I don't think, ever experienced anyone like Pro in her life, and he didn't have his key. So somehow, I think he made her feel at ease enough to not call the police at least. He made it through the night all right. But you know, his spirit really animated any group and made people feel at ease and brought things to life. And you can see it still here. I mean, bringing this group to life. I mean, it's also an improbable gathering of many different walks of life together. So, but there's one story that really sticks with me and highlights the notion of his being a teammate with Pro. And that was when he first arrived, when they first came back to the Bay Area, and they went out to dinner with a large group of Frisbee players, and who often went to dinner together. And that this group had a tradition where they played credit card roulette, which means that at the end of the dinner, so there's 20 people or so, rather than splitting up the bill, you throw the credit cards into the hat, and one credit card gets pulled out, and that was the credit card that paid. And they figure, you know, this works out over time. Well, Becky, Pro, of course, this is the first time he had been to this dinner, his credit card was pulled out, which is, you know, improbable in and of itself. But when he was relating the story to me, there was no regret, no remorse, no, you can't believe it. He was very happy about it. And it just didn't quite make sense. Why was he so happy about it? And then he went on to tell me that from that time for the next 6 months, everyone who was at that dinner kept inviting them out, and they always paid. So, I don't think that Pro paid for a meal in San Francisco for the rest of the time. So that was a little bit of how he saw the world. You know, these events, these improbable events that really made the world a better place, and really look forward to the optimistic part of it. And that, you know, the improbability of working for a Silicon Valley company while living in Hawaii, moving around to Ecuador and Colombia and making incredible friends and an impact all those places. Those were the kinds of things that really opened my eyes to the possibilities and expanded my worldview, and I think everyone who knew him, he expanded their worldview. Again, I feel privileged to have known him, to have played together, and to continue to have that connection with all of the family.